My name's Officer Mike Gilboy with the Franklin Police Department. I've been a K-9 handler for 23 years and currently assigned to the Patrol Division and also to the Metro SWAT team with my partner, Robbie, who you guys are going to meet shortly. He's a 5-year-old German Shepherd. He's from Slovakia. This is some of the daily equipment that we use. One of the things we have here is called a muzzle. And what we do with this is several different things. It helps build the drive on the dog when we're searching. At training, we put someone hiding in the building and we'll put this on them and it builds their drive because they really can't do anything except find them and give them a good bump with this, and that builds up their drive to want to do it more and more. It's also primarily used for crowd control. If we have a situation where a crowd is getting out of control and is refusing to leave, what we can do is let the dog out a little on a long line, and when he does is run up. You can feel there's a bump here on here. Give him a little boom. And you ever have the wind knocked out of you playing sports or something? Well, it kind of has that effect, and it makes the person go, I don't want to deal with that, I'm leaving, and they turn around and leave. So we always have this, and it's also for security reasons. If we're searching for a missing child, one of the things we want to do is put this on so we don't, like sometimes with autistic children, they may hide, and we don't want the dog to be surprised when he finds them. So we'll put this on also to keep everybody safe. This is something that he basically wears every day, and this is his tracking harness. So if we go looking for a missing person or a suspect that has fled the scene, we put this on. So every little piece of equipment is a hint to the dog what he's going to be doing. So he'll put this on, and then I'll take my 15-foot long line and I run it under his right front leg, so it's up in the armpit of his leg, so he knows, oh, okay, we're going to look for someone, and he knows to put his nose on the ground and start smelling. When we go outside, we're going to do a demonstration of how we teach the dog to get his nose to the ground. And one of the ways we do that is with food. And we stomp an area of the grass and we pour food on it. And one of the reasons is dogs use their noses to find things. They have over 1 million receptor cells more than humans do. So when we go to McDonald's, we smell that greased food when we pull up. Well, he can smell the ketchup, the mustard, the bacon, all those different smells. That's how powerful the nose is. So one of the things that he's trying to find is the break of what's called the crust of the earth. If you ever walk out onto some grass, you will see that the grass is pushed down after you've walked over it. Well, when you've done that, you've broken the crust of the earth and it leaves a different smell. So if a bad guy, let's say, ran across a baseball field at 2 o'clock in the morning, well, the dog is going to be smelling for that break in the crust of the earth because the rest of the grass is going to smell different. But also, when I talked about the receptor cells, as you and I are walking around, and we're sitting here actually right now, our bodies are dropping millions of dead skin cells daily. Those have odor. Now when you're dealing with a suspect, he's scared. When you're scared, your body has a chemical reaction and releases gases through your pores that you don't even smell. The dog can smell that. I'm sure everyone's ever heard of dogs can smell fear. And so they smell that. Also, if a bad guy's running from us, he's scared, so that smells pretty strong. Also, he's starting to sweat. That's releasing a different type of gas in the body. It's coming through your pores, comes out. The dog smells all those different smells to find out where you went. So ideally, the best time is like 3 o'clock in the morning because everybody else is in bed. But someplace like a big metropolis city like New York or Boston, where there's millions of people out during the day walking around, it's very difficult to try and track. Here in Franklin and in the surrounding communities, we have a mix of rural and suburban. So our abilities to track is a lot better. This is his bulletproof vest. It's made by K9 Storm. It cost over $3,000. It was donated to the department. It actually has the dog's name right on it, Robbie. This protects him from being shot, stabbed. If someone tries to kick him, the padding in will protect him from that. What you can see is these straps here in the Velcro area are for a camera. So when we're with the SWAT team, we'll mount a camera right on the vest so we can see what the dog sees. When we send him down a hallway, we can hear everything because it has a microphone so we can hear what's going on. It has infrared on it and it has night vision. So if there's no light, we use the night vision. And I'm sure people out there played video games, they know exactly what I'm talking about when they played certain games like Ghost Recon and all those things. So this is an important part of his equipment. Keeps him safe. It also allows us to mount equipment that we may need on it. And for me, when I'm with the team, I wear a helmet. It protects me from just simple things of falling down. Getting dragged by a 65-pound animal through the woods at full speed sometimes can be very treacherous when you're going on uneven territory, and I've taken some nasty falls, so putting this on saves my head. And it's also has ballistic capabilities with that. In the same, I wear a heavier duty vest. In this big satchel here, we carry about 100 feet of leash. And what we do is if we're searching inside a building, sometimes if we're in a school building, well, it's a very long line down the hallway. And what we'll do is let the dog run down to the end and have him hold a corner. So if we came to an L corner, we put the dog down so he can watch, and the camera lets us see what's down that next hallway so the whole group can move together. We also use robots for the same thing. So sometimes we only have one robot. Well, he'll take one corner, the dog will take the other. So it's the same theory. Do you have any questions?
I do. I have plenty.
Excellent.
How much training is involved in order for a dog to become a canine officer?
A lot of training. The basic patrol class, where they learn to find objects such as guns or evidence, possible cell phone, searching buildings for people, and tracking, that's about 16 weeks. And that's all done at the Department of Corrections here in Massachusetts. And they learn all that stuff. Then they're required to go to the academy twice a month to keep up their training. And if the handler's having issues or the dog is having issues, the trainer can see what's going on and correct the problem.
Does a canine dog have to wear a police uniform like you guys here at the Franklin Police Department? If so, what does the uniform look like?
He doesn't wear a uniform, but as we mentioned earlier about the bulletproof vest, he wears that at times, and majority of the time he has this harness on, so he knows it's time to work. And when we pull up to a scene, he's ready to go. I don't have to sit there taking the time to put it on and get it out of the back of the vehicle. So that's basically his uniform that he wears.
When does a canine dog usually retire? Do they stay on board with the police department after retirement? What typically happens?
Okay. The average working span of a police dog is about 6 to 8 years. And after that, majority of the handlers take the dog in as their own dog and live out their days. I'm on my 4th dog, and all my other 3 retired at home. Living the good life. Hanging out on the couch with the kids, watching TV and just relaxing. So they acclimate quite well to it.
What is the best part about having a canine dog for a partner? Are there any challenging parts about having a canine dog as a partner?
It's the best job ever. As I said, I've been doing it for 23 years. I get to go to work with my best friend every day, and I get to hang out with him. And when we're playing, like I throw the toy for him, we're actually working on obedience and stuff like that. So we're training at the same time. I learn something new every day. When I go to training with my training group, I see something one of the other dogs do. I realize, oh, okay. So it's never ending of learning, and it's a pretty cool job.
How old is the usual age of a canine when they begin training? And can you tell whether the dog is going to be a good partner or not?
Great question. They start right after being born. Simple things of playing with the dog, building its drive up. If it's curious, that's the kind of dog you want. So they take those kind of puppies that are showing a strong drive to want to learn and aren't afraid of different looking things or strange noises. When the puppies start, they'll take a whole bunch of empty plastic bottles, smash them together around the puppies, and they want to look for the puppy that's like, huh, what's that? And wants to go forward and check it out. The dog that turns and runs the other way probably doesn't have the fortitude to go through the training.
Besides giving food and water and letting the canine rest during the day, what other factors do you need to think about and consider when working with the dog?
I have to think about the weather. Is it the safety of the dog, especially in extreme heat, knowing how much to push the dog. Sometimes it gets so hot out we're out in the woods, we have to stop and let the dog have a break. I carry a small container with a little water dish, so if we need to give him a break, let him rehydrate, we'll do that. So those are considerations that we have to take in. the extreme cold, especially here in New England. Well, rock salt can actually hurt their paws, so we have to take those kind of things into consideration also. Weather's a big thing.
When bringing a dog with you to a crime, does the dog's mood change at all while you're responding to the call?
Great question. It does. The minute the lights go on in the police car or the siren goes on, the dog changes because he knows he's going somewhere and he might get to play as he considers it. Work, whatever the situation occurs that he can be used.
What factors go into whether or not you bring the canine dog along to the call?
Great question. That changes with every type of situation that we have. There may be cases where I needed more without the dog, and if there's situations that the dog can help us put an end to a situation, we'll use them. Especially with the SWAT team, sometimes there are situations where we're not going to use the dog, just going to be regular operators, but other times we're going to use the dog to help us. So it changes with every call.
What is a typical routine for the canine dog when you let them out of a car, whether it's to search a car that potentially is hiding drugs or alcohol in it, or to search for a suspect who is on the run?
Okay. Well, my dog is not trained in narcotics. He's trained for the patrol stuff, searching buildings, looking for people, and the SWAT stuff. I have worked drug dogs in the past, and you set the dog up with simple things as when we put certain pieces of equipment. A lot of handlers will put a different collar on their dog when they do drug work, so the dog knows, oh, okay, I gotta go sniff for that stuff. But what he's actually sniffing for is his reward. He thinks that his toy is gonna be there or the food is gonna be there. So it changes. And the same with the patrol stuff. He knows this gets hooked up and this goes under his armpit, he knows we're going tracking. If we go to the front of a building, all right, he knows we're going to be searching the building inside the building. So we give them little cues to help them along the way. And they have such high drive, they want to work. The minute I open the door to his crate in the morning, he jumps right up when he sees I'm in uniform and runs for the police car. So he knows it's time to go to work. They live for it. The drive is just amazing. And that's why I love doing it. Just watching the dog figure things out on their own. I call them the brains of the operation. I just hold on for the ride.
Last question.
Yep.
What is something that people don't know about canine dogs?
Wow, great question. I'm not sure how to answer that. That they're not very good house dogs because they can't sit around. They figure that out when they retire, but when they're young, they just want to go, go, go. It's very difficult. There have been several movies over the years where they've had military dogs in the shows and people want to go buy them. And I'm like, no, don't, because the dog will get self-destructive, start eating your couch instead of wanting to lay around all day, because these dogs are genetically bred to be working and to have a purpose. So that would be not a good thing to have a police dog at your house as a pet.
So when we were inside, we talked about the smell of the crust of the earth, human scent, two odors that the dog uses to find people. So the way we start off teaching them how to track is we scuff in the grass here, you break in the crust of the earth, and my human scent is over it. And what we do is pour the dog's food over it, and he gets the idea in his head. If I follow the odor of the broken crust and the human scent, I'm going to get rewarded with food. And that's how they love to do it, because that's how they eat. We have to do this all the time, lay tracks when we're to feed them or hide guns or something out, just so the dogs can eat and also work at the same time. So like I said, breaking the crust of the earth, human scent's all over my shoes, so the dog will smell that when he comes out. Now we're just going to do a small one just for demonstration purposes, but usually we do like about a 4-yard square, and then we just work the dog around it. So then what I'm going to do, put a little food out inside this square. We don't want the food going out of the square because then you're teaching the dog just to look for food, and we don't want that. So I'll go get him, and I'll be back in a second. Good boy here. Hey, Laney. So this is Robbie.
Hey, Bobby, how you doing, buddy?
So he's a 5-year-old German Shepherd. Robbie's actually named after a Franklin resident by the name of Robert Pirelli. Robert was a member of the 10th Special Forces Group and was killed in action back in 2007. And I went with the family to help bring him home to Franklin, and it really stuck with me. So I asked the family if I could name my next dog after Rob, and I would go around to the schools and tell them all about Rob's story and what he did, and they loved it. See, he already knows what's up, so he's already winding looking for the odor. Now the wind is blowing, so it's coming this way, so we're gonna start in working towards you guys. And I'm gonna set him up. So I don't want to let him move. I want to stay in the spot. Maybe I'll turn my body a little, blade him. But this whole idea. It's not terribly exciting stuff, and it can be, you know, but this is what helps build the foundation for the dogs. I still do this once or twice a month to keep the dog, helps reset the dog, keeps him focused. Like I said, I have the leash up under that right front leg. That's a symbol to him in his head, nose down, and look for odor. Another way we use food is when we're teaching him obedience. So as you see, I got my little pouch bang. What does he do? He goes into a sit because he already knows that if he does his sits and downs. So, Sunday, comment? Laney. And that's how he gets his reward. Sunday. If he does the command, he gets the reward. Laney. And you see how much hard he's getting at that food? That's how drive most dogs, just like do 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 do. Not this guy. Come in. Lady. Boy. And that's how we do obedience. So we're making it fun. He's getting to eat, which he needs to do. And it reinstills what we want. Because we want that control, especially when we're in a serious situation. Okay, so we're gonna hide 2 objects for Robbie to go find. One being a flashbang grenade and one an airsoft pistol. I've had my human odor put over them, so that's what he's gonna smell and that's what he's looking for. So we're just gonna put him out here on the front lawn and we'll let him go work afterwards and find it, okay? When he does, he's gonna lay down at it and he's gonna put his nose on it. I'm gonna ask him a couple times to show me. He'll put his nose on it. When he does, he gets his food reward. And that's how we start with the food doing that, and then we move it into all the other things that we do. So, Laney, Laney, Laney. Report. He's catching the odor, he's trying to figure it out. Report. Where is it? Show me. Show me. No, show me. Show me. He's got his foot on it, but he doesn't want. He wants that food reward so badly. Yeah, that's a good boy. Show me. Now it makes it a little more interesting because that sign is made out of the same type of plastic.
Yeah, blended.
So, but if you notice when he first went by it on the opposite side, his head went up and he stopped and spun. So he's catching the odor. He's got to figure it out. And you have a slight wind today, so you have to let him work it out. Come in. And that's all he wants is that food. And so he'll do anything you ask of him. That or his favorite toy, he's gonna do what you need him to do.
He's gonna be a happy guy.
And if you notice his tail's wagging, a lot of people think police dogs are vicious. They're not. He's very sociable in the aspect that you can be around him. He doesn't like being petted, other than by me. And my 14-year-old son can pet him, but everybody else, not so much. And that's because he's chosen his intermediate pack. When he's working with the team, he knows they're going to take him to somewhere to help him find so he can get his reward. Okay, come in. I know. Yes. Yeah. So these guys can run about 24, 25 miles an hour across an open field. Malinois are a little faster. And tons of fun. So he's already looking for more stuff to do. He weighs about 65 pounds. And, we don't like him too much bigger than this because this way they're compact. They can go over chain link fences. They can go into crawl spaces, attics, into tight spaces anywhere. The bigger the dog, the harder that is to do. All right, let me go. You guys want to walk over? I'll show you the car.
Yeah, sure.
And, can you open my back? Yeah, that's a good boy. Show me. Yeah, get it. Now it makes it a little more interesting because that sign is made out of the same type of plastic.
Yeah, blended.
So, but if you notice when he first went by it on the opposite side, his head went up and he stopped and spun. So he's catching the odor. He's got to figure it out. And you have a slight wind today, so you have to let him work it out. Come in. And that's all he wants is that food. And so he'll do anything you ask of him. That or his favorite toy, he's gonna do what you need him to do.
He's gonna be a happy guy.
And if you notice his tail's wagging, a lot of people think police dogs are vicious. They're not. He's very sociable in the aspect that you can be around him. He doesn't like being petted, other than by me. And my 14-year-old son can pet him, but everybody else, not so much. And that's because he's chosen his intermediate pack. When he's working with the team, he knows they're going to take him to somewhere to help him find so he can get his reward. Okay, come in. I know. Yes. Yeah. So these guys can run about 24, 25 miles an hour across an open field. Malinois are a little faster. And tons of fun. So he's already looking for more stuff to do. He weighs about 65 pounds. And, we don't like him too much bigger than this because this way they're compact. They can go over chain link fences. They can go into crawl spaces, attics, into tight spaces anywhere. The bigger the dog, the harder that is to do. All right, let me go. You guys want to walk over? I'll show you the car.
Yeah, sure,
And,
absolutely.
so it's meant to keep him safe while he's being transported around. The metal grating on the window here is so that no one can stick their fingers in there or give him something that he shouldn't have. If God forbid we get to an accident, he doesn't get thrown out the window to get protected from glass rifle through. There's a special cooling fan which you can see is mounted on the window there, and it, if it gets too hot, an alarm goes off and sends a message to my vest that, okay, you need to get back to the car and check on the dog. It has a rubber flooring in it. I can take it, I can wash it all the time. Because these guys, because they're so excited, you guys have dogs at home, dander. When these get super excited, they fluff up and all the dander raises to the top, and then these get very dirty. These we gotta clean it out just once a week. Come in, hop. Good boy. So you guys saw all that equipment that I had earlier, and so it all gets mounted on this side of the cage. So he only has 2/3 of the back seat. In this 1/3, I keep all my extra uniforms, all my equipment, my vest, his vest, extra leashes. So we have all the proper equipment and spares in case something breaks when we're out on a call. We have something else to use. And that's about it. So hopefully I get to do it till I retire, which is in about 5-7 years. He's probably not going to make it all the way because just of the age. He's going to be 6 in the next few months. So I'll probably get another 3 years out of him, and then I'll need another guy to finish off my career. Probably going to break a few hearts of guys who want the position, but I'm not letting go. I'm taking it all the way to the end. Kicking and screaming, crying. Yeah. I'm not gonna. I've been very fortunate in my career that I've been able to do all this, and I've met some amazing people and officers through the years involved in the training of dogs, and it's just, like I said earlier in the interview, every day I learn something new from all the guys I train with, people that come in and work with us. It's pretty cool. It keeps the job interesting and keeps me busy because I gotta take care of another living creature. So.